Goodmill, founder of Scelta, and I'm here today sitting with Yamama and Jack. Very grateful to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us.
We at Scelta are taking a part of the WEsecure Cybersecurity Pilot Program.
Yes.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here.
Yeah.
So first, intros. Yamama, can you tell us a little bit about what you're studying?
Sure. So my name is Yamama Tuma. I am currently an undergrad computer science degree honors and specializing specifically in networks and security. It's a 4-year program, and I am TAing for a cybersecurity workshop currently, and doing like some hustles there now and there, like whatever that I get the time to learn more. I get the opportunity to put my hands on any experience that I would get. I would definitely go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jack.
I'm Jack Burney. I'm a student at University of Windsor, computer science. I don't have a specialization because it's a little too early, but I hope to also go into networks and security. Hobbies, I like tech. I like cybersecurity. It's interesting enough that this is what I want to do, and that's why I'm here. My personal order for a bagel from Tim Hortons is a cinnamon raisin bagel toasted with butter.
Awesome.
It's my addition.
Now, before we dive into any podcast, we always like to ask, how do you personally dial in? Yamama, I'll start with you.
Okay, sure. So it depends if it's a gloomy day or a fun day for me. It depends also if it's like, so I set my usually priorities ahead, like a day ahead before starting in. I write down what I need to do for the next day. I have like a small notebook that it always goes with me everywhere I go, and to-do lists, I create it. And yeah, so I do some research, brainstorm whatever I need to finish off, write notes on what are the first things that I like, set my priorities for certain assignments, and starting off like with how to start, introduction, and like trying to finish it off according to the priority list that I create.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very
stressful.
Dialed in.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
Very intelligent method.
Jack.
My version of dialing in functions a little differently. I just give myself a chunk of time, and if I don't do it, I start taking things away. Okay. So if I'm not making progress in 10 minutes, phone's gone. Okay. If it's 15, no music. And I like almost Spartan. I have to do it, and I make it like my mindset. I have to do this, or I'm not doing anything.
True.
I like that.
So if, like you said, the question, if I have a big assignment, well, then I'm doing it, and then that's it. That like nothing gets in the way. So it's maybe not as intelligent, and I don't quite plan things out. I kind of just throw my head at the wall until it breaks. That's my method.
Are you at a home office? Are you at the library?
Usually at home.
Okay.
I like it there a lot more than like an office space or a library, but if need be, I'm anywhere.
Yeah.
Just as long as I can have earbuds, I'm dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not even me, I'm just my work, just doing it.
Are those headphones playing rock and roll, hip hop? What's the go-to?
If I really need to think, believe it or not, heavy metal. Heavy metal, because I don't think I do it's there, like when they're yelling, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But then if it's something more casual and I have time and I need to think or plan, so maybe it's something more structured, that's where I'd pull maybe indie rock.
Oh, okay.
Something chill.
Yeah.
Get me through it.
It's fantastic.
Awesome.
You can work with that loud music.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're yelling for me.
Yeah. You would really relate with our chief branding officer, Avery. That's his go-to. Yeah. Okay, so cybersecurity. I mean, cybersecurity can be intimidating to a lot of companies, especially small businesses, thinking, I'm too small a company to worry about cybersecurity. Can you demystify that for us?
It can often be the opposite.
Yeah.
So maybe for the big threat actors, so you'd see maybe organized groups, like crime groups that are interested in targeting bigger companies, maybe not. But the smaller you are and the more vulnerable you are, anyone can do it. You're way more accessible as a victim. of a threat. So maybe if you aren't as experienced in cybersecurity and you have a full application set up, it takes just one simple vulnerability to be scanned by a simple script, something someone can download directly from the internet.
Yeah.
And your entire business, your lifeline, it's all gone in one moment. That's all it takes. Bigger companies, they have the infrastructure to defend or maybe insure against that, but the smaller companies are way more susceptible to like life-changing events as a result.
So for those companies out there right now listening, specifically in the construction market,
Yeah.
how do you even get started with cybersecurity and looking into your own company?
Well, it's the small things.
Yeah.
So think about how your company views cybersecurity. Is it a threat? Is it a nuisance? Or maybe do your employees see it as, well, maybe we can improve upon this. Maybe there's policies. It's as simple as starting off with maybe make sure your passwords are decent.
Yeah.
It seems simple enough, but more often than not, you'd be surprised how many don't follow through with what seems like a more simple concept. It's those little things that you can improve upon.
Yamama, it sounds like this is a very hands-on type of industry as well. You visit a lot of clients, you do a lot of interviewing and auditing of systems. Can you walk me through what it's like to be interviewed by a cybersecurity firm?
Sure. So usually we'll walk you through a couple of questionnaires. We're making sure that your system, that you're following, like at least your employees have basic knowledge of cybersecurity. They know how to protect their computers, their accounts. It could really be the personal accounts before the company's accounts. Documentation reports about how to protect yourself better, how to make your system more organizable, decent, and it doesn't have a lot of vulnerabilities to be exploited. It ensures that you're protected as much as possible in order for you to not be a vulnerability for attackers to get into your system and steal your information and sell it on the black market or the dark web.
Yeah.
So it's better to take the actions if you're a small startup company. Then it's better to lose all of your information that you have worked so hard on,
Right.
and all of a sudden it's gone.
And one interesting topic that we discussed earlier was it's not only your own internal team that you have to keep an eye on, it's also all the vendors, all the clients you work with, right? All the incoming information that are potential threats.
You could think of it like the weakest link concept or mindset. If you all have your hands in the same cookie jar, if someone has germs on their hand, it's going to spread to everyone.
Yeah.
So if you're in constant contact or business with a vendor or supply chain maybe, and they have some vulnerability, that applies to you too,
You're
just as
always
much.
a target.
Yes.
You're always a target. That's why you need to protect yourself and make sure that the people or the companies and the third parties that you're dealing with are also following the regulations of protecting their systems and their companies as well. So in order for you to feel a little bit more safe with dealing with them, specifically if they were like big companies or enterprise.
Yeah. And you mentioned that feeling of safety. And
Yes.
so a big driver for us at Scelta is that psychological safety for not only ourselves internally, but also giving our clients that peace of mind.
Sure.
I mean, when you have the responsibility of managing thousands of users and hundreds of companies, you want to be able to give your entire community that peace of mind that you are acting responsibly with their data. So how can a lot of these companies, is it a certification? Is it a training course? Like, can you walk the listeners through what we're about to go through in these next 6 months?
Well, first and foremost is employee training.
Yeah.
Awareness even. Just make sure everyone, like I said, keeps it in mind. But moving on from that, it's putting in procedures or policies like we talked about earlier to make sure if something arises, well, there's orders or set things that you need to do. And that's your responsibility to do to your customers.
How to make sure that their passwords are always updated. They don't keep their passwords very short. They make sure that it's consistent of numbers and letters and characters, and they keep changing it every 6 months or so. These are very important. They might seem very silly and like everyone could do it, but you could not imagine of how many people, like most of the attacks happens from phishing or using a weak password or not updating their passwords or reusing it. It's very important to have these like employees to get knowledge about these specific or basic awareness of cybersecurity.
A big part is also it causes friction. So the most secure application and like enterprise you can think of probably sucks to work in. So it's difficult to find the balance between what you need and what you can accomplish reasonably for your employees.
Good point.
So for example, I've seen a company that has phenomenal security. From server to desktop to their file transfer, it's all perfect. But the employees hate it, and they'll find every way to not do it. So in the end, it doesn't matter how perfect your security is, it's the people.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are using it. There's this one person who found a way, no matter what, to always go around it because it meant something to him to not do it. He would find any way in the book to make sure that he doesn't follow the policies. That doesn't mean that it's his fault. He's a worker there, and his voice wasn't heard, and it just means that the things in place just weren't doing the job properly.
Right. There's the balance that you guys are talking about, right? Is being incredibly secure, Fort Knox, and then putting your passwords on a piece of paper on top of your desk. I mean, there's two ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
So falling somewhere in between.
Yeah, you want to find the most reasonably optimal solution.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
No matter how perfect your security is, there's always some way someone can get in. You just want to make it.
Yeah. Even if you're protected, they could still, like for example, try to attack your machine or attack your system in order for it to stop for like 5 minutes, but this 5 minutes can make you lose millions of dollars in like from the company. So it is very important. People don't look at that, but it's a great fact that people should start realizing, okay, how do we protect ourselves?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it's very surprising, but I'm starting to see progress. People are looking, okay, there are a lot of technology around the world. How do we not get exploited by it?
Yeah.
So it's very important, yeah.
That's what stops you from making it a $5 million problem to maybe a $50,000 problem. Knowing what to do and having the means to do it effectively.
Can we talk a little bit about a false sense of security? So you think that I have Norton, I have McAfee, I've got antivirus software, I've got 1Password. Why is that a false sense of security?
Just having them there doesn't mean as much as you'd think. So let's say, for example, someone is caught on the idea, they want to break into my computer. It's their life goal. They're super motivated for it. If I have Norton security on there and I feel safe, maybe I'd be safe from a general spray of attacks. That dedicated attacker with malicious intent will find a way around that if I'm not being proactive. So a lot of the generic, like off-the-shelf solutions will work for general security, but it won't stop those who desire it that much. It's the whole field out there dedicated to this for a reason. If it were as simple as just having Norton, well then I don't think we'd be here right now.
Right.
And the problem also, people would look, oh, I'm not famous, oh, I'm not someone important, so why would someone try to attack me? Why would someone care about me, right? But, oh, trust me, I am not known, I don't have anything, and one time a friend of mine attacked my account, and my account was gone forever. So I lost all of the information that I had on my account. So yes, it's like, you would be surprised. It could come from the closest person, that like someone who's like internally, someone working with you, or someone who just doesn't like you for some reason, and they know some technical knowledge, and like, okay, let me just annoy them or ruin their day for them, right? Yeah. So that's why it's like, that's a false information. Yeah. Like, you're always a target, whether you are not known or you're super like famous and powerful, impactful.
Now, if you were to give some of the business owners a few simple tips that they can just get started on before hiring an agency or a company, What are some things that they can just to get the ball rolling in cybersecurity?
Role-based access, please.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
Give your employees, don't allow your employees, all of them, to have the same access to the information that you have. So each employee has a certain role and they can only access a certain piece of data.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Very well put. You could also, I like this method, is everyone likes to think that they're smart and they know, what's out there, what could be a threat, but sometimes you get caught with your, pants down. So I like the idea of sending possible phishing emails or maybe try and test your employees. Mm-hmm. So it seems like, I know my employees, they're smart. Maybe they're programmers even. They won't click on that. Are you sure about that? You'd be surprised. It happens way more often than you'd think. And it's a great learning lesson. Mm-hmm. Rather it be you than someone, halfway across the country doing it maliciously.
Yeah. Clients need to know too is, so ourselves, putting ourselves in Scelta's position with our security that we're implementing, we're still going to be working with these clients and, we want them to be just as secure as and take security as seriously as we are.
Yeah.
So how do you know when you're working with a company who is secure?
For example, Scelta does a really good thing. They have their policies, their privacy policy and data policy disclosed on the website. That's a big thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies may not have that, and that's important to know that they have that. You take responsibility for what you do.
Right.
Make sure they do the same. Equality, eye for an eye.
Yeah.
That's a good way to tell, but sometimes you just can't.
Yeah, sometimes declaring that some companies would be open to declare that we're secure, we're following, we're certified by PEPIDA, or we're following the NIST rules, or certain, they would declare on their websites or their information that is publicly online available, but again, not a lot of companies do. You would figure out that most big companies do have that because they're required to announce that they're partners of certain things and certain companies and certain agreements or partnerships in general. But it's very hard to tell for small companies if they're secure or not because they don't have as much rules as big companies that they have to follow.
The really important ones especially are those that have, it's called PII, or personal identifiable information. It's anything that I could use to tie it to a human being. Mm-hmm. So I like this story. Do you know those kids' cameras where it's a little plastic camera, has a little LCD screen you take? Yeah, I think it's by, I don't remember the brand. It didn't seem like maybe they would require it, but little did a lot of people know, they have a software application where these kids could upload their photos and share with family. That is PII. That wasn't defended properly. And one massive lawsuit and breach later, thousands of photos from kids are all around the internet. Who would have thought that it would apply to them, but they should have. Right. And they didn't.
Sounds like cybersecurity is not just something you can throw money at and then never look at again and hope, I hired a company, I'm all good. It's more of a movement, right? Because you could have the best systems in place, but if your team and your employees aren't following the best practices, you're still vulnerable.
Yep.
Right? So it's more of a culture movement that you guys are bringing to the table.
Just keep learning, always, constantly. That's, like you said, what we're here for also is to help with that. Mm-hmm. So when you're in a job and maybe, obviously, you're not doing cybersecurity, you're a CEO, you don't always have the time to learn and keep up with these trends or what's going on in the world. That's where people like us would come in to help inform you and give insight on what's applicable, what could hurt you.
Yeah. Well, Yamama and Jack, we're really excited to have you guys and be a part of this WEcure Cybersecurity Pilot Program. Are we the first company to do this program?
Yes, you'd be the first. Yeah.
All right.
Beta.
Well, we're used to testing, and we're always willing to grow and learn and adapt, and we're really excited to have great people like you guys on board.
We're grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having us.